truth.
A few moments later.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Morning Market Report. It's Tuesday, November 4th. Jim Cramer, calling some bullishness out there, says the bear market is here, which is very bullish for us, as we know. But we did get a pull down here, right where we talked about for a while now. For a hot minute, we've been talking about, hey, guys, watch the Platinum Pocket, also known as the Piper Pocket. And yeah, we're down there now. We just got a bounce out of it. OC asked me yesterday, did I DCA? And I said, no, I think we're going lower down to this range. Guess what I did this morning? I DCA'd in the Platinum Pocket because that's what I said I was going to do. So let's go ahead and get through all this. We got a lot to go over today. We got a lot of news to break down, and we're going to be looking at what you guys need to know. Also taking a look at a lot of charts. So let's get it. You guys know what time it is. Take your seats. Get your notebooks out. Class is in session. Let's go. All right, my son's over here standing off to the side, just staring at me while I'm in a live show. Like, quit staring at me. Speak or get the hell out. But yeah, what's up, everybody? Welcome to, you got your trapper keeper out, Alexandra. I appreciate that. Good job. Top of the class, always. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Morning Market Report. Let's go ahead and get my co-host up here. The man, the myth, the legend, the Mexican Superman, OC guy. What's up, dude? How you doing, man?
Doing fantastic, pretty good actually. It just hit today morning. My next entry, my next DCA at 103 400K. So doing fantastic. Oh, look at that! That's everyone in Twitter at this point.
Not everyone. Not everyone. There's some people out there that are.
Oh, they're supposed to be pumped up, right?
Now, some people out there are super bullish right now still, and yeah, it's we'll have to talk about that. Matter of fact, one of them has to do with liquidity. Liquidity pumping into the market, but I got some sad news about that. Eric Wallen forced me to watch by saying link to $800 username set. Let's go give a shout out. I haven't even put the chat up here. Oh, look, it did it anyways for me. Perfect. We got, let's see here. Dang it. We've got Eric Wallen in here. We've got username Jesse Gellick. Mortimer Dude is in here with us. Duke, I'm sorry, Mortimer Duke. Harp is in here. Who else? JR, our trader in our Discord. Love it. Mike Vollmer, what's up, bro? How you doing, man? Al Jr. is in here with us. Ihachi, that's Tobias from over there in the Discord. Chart Prime, Dylan VA. CJ Taylor, my brother. Dylan, how you been, man? He said, hi, all. Have a good day. You too, bro. Two Dub is in the house with us. Wix Wife, Fine 89, Robert Mulligan, and a whole lot more. I appreciate you guys all joining us here. Let's go talk about, oh, we got Rib Chat. We got Rib Chat, bro. Fire. If you guys don't know, Eric Wallen posted a thing and said, Army Piper told me to be humble, and he had the Eric Wallen was right hat on the picture of X. And Eric, you need to take the back of that hat. The front needs to say Eric Wallen was right. And then on the back of it, and you can put, and also humble. That would be a great hat. And I would buy that hat. I would buy that hat. OC, how we looking on Bitcoin this morning, man? Oh, LBC is in here. Before you say that, I got to give a good morning to LBC. He's very sensitive. And if you don't tell him good morning, then he will talk about it in the chat. Well, maybe I won't tell him good morning because I want that engagement in the chat. But yeah, good morning, LBC. Appreciate you being here, bro. OC, how are we looking on the Bitcoin chart, man? Can you show me on the chart where the bad man, market maker, composite man touched you? Show me on the chart, bro.
Absolutely, this is not a secret. We were calling this area since yesterday. So it was slightly around the same area between what Piper was looking at and also where I was looking at my entry. It is right here as we went down at 103 400. And well, then we had it coming. If you take a look at here, it just rang today in morning. There we go. So I already have bought some in here. Remember, I also bought some in here up here at 106. So I'm doing my DCA as we go down. Something important, remember that right now we're having a strong look to our leading indicator right in here on the 30 minutes. We are crossing the zero line with that true 7. Let's bring up the rest of our indicator in here. And let's bring up the menu. Perfect. And of course, the main oscillator shape. And I want to clear this up a little bit, all right? So let me zoom out in here, and it's finally time to say goodbye to this whole spaghetti. There we go. I think that we're still doing great, but here it is. All right, so we already got it. We have a bullish divergence. We're trying to break through that to that zero line, just like our leading indicator, and we are ramping up on our volume matrix. So I believe that we might still have a good chance right now to break to this area of resistance, maybe something like this, and finally go and hit dynamic reactors. Something important yesterday, and let me bring this indicator up really quickly. Take a look at that. We had a reversal here, right? So we're coming down, we have a reversal, we range. Guess what? We've seen this previously, right? Inside important classes, video number 1. And well, then this is it, right? So we coming down, we have a blue flag, and then we see a ranging here that tends to be, in most of the cases, a flat pause of bearish continuation, just exactly as it happens right here in this example, right? So we're coming down, we have the range, right? The reversal. That means that we have a flat pause of bearish continuation in there, right? So what happening here? Perfect. We were coming down, we have a reversal, and I was saying, hey guys, you know what, we were yesterday somewhere around here. Hey, you know what, I believe that we might still have the chance, to get the previous highs, get in here, and then finally come back down. So this would have been a great area to short the market. As you can see, it turned around quickly, right? It had a bounce of the previous resistance, previous support, and it plummeted back down. Nonetheless, despite the levels, the reversal range actually ended up playing out. Something important, I would call out that we are on the third flat pause bearish continuation. The very first one was this one. We called it out very nicely. And then we have the second one, and finally the third one. Usually the third one tends to be the charm. We'll see how that goes, because I think that we're getting very, very, very close to that 100 area mark. Maybe we might have one more time, one more pullback down, but seems like we will have to wait just a little bit more to see if that plays out. In the meantime, I will not be turning that bullish until we have a breakout retest continuation. But that's what I got so far on Bitcoin. And oh, yep. Before we move out, sorry for that. Let's just visit the weekly. As we were keeping track in this channel, and we're getting very close to that 100K mark. So just want to tap on this one and then turn it back to you, Piper.
He said, but wait, there's more. You also got a song in my head now. Thank you. In the meantime and in between time, go ahead, Alexander G. You know what it is. Music. We live by music over here in the Piper house, and Alexander G is kindred spirits to the Smith household over here. So let's look here at what we're seeing on the news. I got a lot of news to go through today, OC, so bear with me. Not as much as yesterday, but a lot. Don't forget to watch Crypto Princess right after the show, Mike Vollmer said. We will be redirecting over there, Mike Vollmer. Don't worry about that. We got you. Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's everybody. Oh, Chris Reitz is in the house. Is it Reitz or Reitz, man? Let me know. Is it I or E? But shout out to you. Appreciate you joining us here. And then, who else? I don't know. Steve Hickey. Yep, saw him in there. Cool. Just want to make sure I'm giving everybody a shout out. Dusty Hunt. Appreciate you being here, bro. All right, let's go jump over to news. Let's break it down. Oh, it's Reitz. Okay, Chris Reitz. And that is not how the news should look. Let me fix that for you here, and we will get into that. Look, I didn't set it all up the way I normally do, and it's not all ready to go at all. Looking here at the crypto market cap total, guys, we're sitting currently at 3.488 trillion right now. Trend on this is at 4.6. We are 24.31% undervalued right now. Of course, we can go much, much lower. You can see that like as we're going into crypto winters. Hell, if we even went just sideways, we're on an upward trend of the fair value. So we would continue to get further away from that, even just staying sideways. I want to look here at the logarithmic band and just see what this looks like, because I haven't really looked at this chart too much on the full time scale here, looking at Bitcoin, at old Bitty boy. But guys, we never even broke out of the green bands this cycle. which is really sad. We've always broken, and we went further down than normal, so I'm pretty sure that these will end up being readjusted because, you know, as time goes on, you fine tune, right? But we didn't even get up to the out of the green band, let alone up to the red band. Where would we have been if we made it to the red band this year? $283,000 Bitcoin if we made it in this cycle. So, you know, is it over? Remains to be seen, but odds are there. Matter of fact, Poly Market has a thing about it. We'll look at that in a bit. Currently on the wristbands, we're sitting at 47.5%. That is a 3x DCA, by the way. And all those altcoins, DCA levels, all in the Discord. And if you're a member here, you have access. Remember, I do the member stream. I do the member stream on Monday nights, Monday afternoons, evenings, whatever you want to call it. I do that stream with members only, and I always see a bunch of people that are in the chat on the YouTube stream for members only that are not in the Discord. You guys are missing out. I appreciate the support and love, but you're really missing out on the value of the Piper plan. So looking at Bitcoin dominance right now with stablecoins, we're sitting at 60.14%. Without stablecoins, 65.5%. What I tell you guys, I said we're going to probably head to dominance with including stablecoins, 60%. I actually think that this ends up hitting 65%. This hits 70 before it's all said and done. And then we'll see where we go from there. Let's go look at the alt season. Where are we at? 41.3, continuing in downside, heading towards the range that I think that we're heading to, which is a 25 point index points here on the alt season index, not even close to an alt season. Alt's getting decimated. Guys, past 24 hours, 347,376 traders got liquidated. Total liquidations coming in at $1.4 billion with the B, $1.4 billion. Largest single liquidation order happened on HTX. It was a Bitcoin trade. Look, OC, another $47.8 million gone in one single trade. OC, I told you, if you got money like this to throw away on a trade, you can just give it to me. Quit trading like that, you crazy degen. Well, when will the government shutdown end? Right now, the highest likelihood, November 29th, guys. This is after Thanksgiving. And it continues on. It just continues on. Let me find Bitcoin here. There was a Bitcoin one I saw here that I wanted to show you. What will the price be? No, that's not it. It is. Let's see here. It was, let me look here. Hold on. Bear with me. I think it said, will it break $100,000 or something like that? Will Bitcoin hit $100,000? That might be it there. Let's try it this way. Bitcoin, $100,000. There it is. Will Bitcoin dip below 100K before 2026? 75% chance, according to Poly Market. That is the belief right now, guys. So that target that OC's watching on his chart there, the target that I'm watching, yeah, it's crazy. But 100K, I do think is going to get hit. I actually think we go a little bit below that. Then I'll show you where that's at on the chart here in a little bit. Let's look at X and check that out. Kabisi letter timeline for this week. Of course, yesterday we had ISM. Today we get Palantir. No, we had Palantir yesterday. They dumped like crazy afterwards, overnight rise. AMD today, report earnings. AMD report earnings today. And then tomorrow we're going to get ADP non-farm payroll data. This is private sector. And then Michigan consumer sentiment data on Friday. That's about it. 20% of the S&P companies reporting earnings this week. And the government shutdown is now day 35. Day 35. Extreme fear on the fear and greed index for Bitcoin, guys. Extreme fear 21 right now for the extreme fear and greed index. Jim Cramer, we're now in a bear market, according to Jim Cramer, and you guys know what that means. It means we typically go the other way. I don't know. We'll have to see if this plays out. Remember, a broken clock is still right twice a day. So we'll see. I think that there is some potential for it. I got an article that's also talking about Wall Street having some concerns right now. We'll take a look at that too. There it is, 78% chance of Bitcoin falling below $100,000, according to Poly Market. That's the one that I just showed you. Is Bitcoin still in a bull market or a bear market? I want to talk about this real fast with you, OC. Let's look at this here. Is Bitcoin still in a bull market or a new bear market? 55.3% say that it is in a bull market. People are still very bullish. OC, your thoughts on this? You didn't even see it, did you?
Sorry. Yeah, I was just doing it. Oh, I see.
Bitcoin in a bull market or a bear market? Right here. 55.3% say it is still in a bull market. Your thoughts on this? Is that just hopium, or are we just way, or am I just way off? Is Pi Bear way off and OC's the 55 majority?
No, I think that we're still on the bull market. Technicals are, well, different perspective, and also we need to talk about time frames, right? So there is no the trend, right? I mean, every time frame has its own trend, right? What we consider usually, generally, that trend, it tends to be either daily or weekly, right? So if we take a look at the daily, we are bearish, right? But that doesn't mean that the trend it's bearish, right? Let me, if you allow me to go over the weekly chart right here really quickly. I'm going to show you right here. Let me go to Bitcoin. There it is, right? Let's go to the channel, right? Let me ask you guys a question really quickly, and let me go to a cleaner chart. There it is, right? So right here where we on a bear trend, right here where we on a bear trend. So what do you think about this, right? Are we already into a bear trend? For me, for us to be into a bearish trend, or for the bull cycle to be over, which I believe that is the actual question, right? For me, for the bull cycles to be over, is to first lose this area right here, the 99, the 100K. So lose it with a big body candle, and then bounce into that area, same area, and hit rejection. So right here on the way down, that's what I'm going to be saying, you know what, we are on the bearish trend. If for the contrary, we lose that area, we get to the dynamic reactor and we start ranging until we lose that range, right here is when I'm going to say, you know what, we are on the bear market. And that is because of technicals, right? So like, for example, right here, what is the bear market? Yes, everybody's going to say, hey, right here. But what about here? How do you know? You don't know until you start breaking some important shit, right? So the first thing is throwing some trend lines. And where do we break the, what is it? SHF, right? When the SHF scenario happens, when we start breaking through right here, right? The very first signal, then the rejection in this area, and finally this breakout. I know that was the 50% of the full movement to the downside, which, by the way, I was talking with Langstrom today in the morning. Doesn't mean that you're not supposed to be shorting this. Let me show you something really quickly. Like, for example, in here, and that's what we're talking about, the 4 hours. I know extending a little bit, but hey guys, if the 4 hours is bearish, short it. The trend is your friend. And if you're trading the 4 hours, short it, right? If you are in the 1 hour and the trend is bearish, short it, right? So that's nothing wrong with this, right? But as far as going, hey, are we in the bear market? Not just yet. We're getting to one big resistance in here like we did before. And I'm actually buying spot, right? So once again, if this thing breaks out, then goes back and retest, like Piper mentioned here, this is right here, your area, right? On the bounce back up, your area to gracefully sell what you bought right down here, right? And then short it for the next bear market. So far, yes and no. I think that we are still on the bullish or the bull market still so far, technically speaking.
And I would agree with you on that. Here's why. And this is why I'm continuing the DCA, guys. This is why I just bought this morning on spot buy. Because we still haven't lost what I've showed you guys many times on the chart, the 52-week simple moving average. When we lose that, we get a couple of weekly candles below that, and I'll go over all that in a minute here with you guys. But until that happens, we are still in bullish structure. And so, yes, that was kind of a setup for you there, OC, but I wanted to see how you'd reply to it. And absolutely, are we in a bearish trend right now? Yes. Are we heading into the bear market? Possibly. Are we there currently? No. Is the bear in the room with you right now? No, he is not. So he's over in the corner, patiently
He's
waiting.
growling.
Right? He's growling. That's it. Piper did not invent the 52-week SMA. That is all LBC. I used to use the 50-week SMA, and now I use a 52-week because I like it better. So LBC in the house is the place to be. Let's go back and talk about some more news here. Yeah.
Really quickly, just want to make an announcement. On the 15 minutes, I just opened up along, and I'm looking for a trend line breakout. So let me go to 15 minutes right here. This is the trend line breakout that I'm looking for, right? We have a third candle. I'll just open up a little long in here. It's going to be a long scalp as we're breaking through. We have made our way above the dynamic reactor. My stop loss, it's right here. Let me tell you, it's exactly because I'm looking at it. Come on. Entry. What is, come on. There it is. 103,500. So 103,500. It's a little bit lower. Come on. Well, you get it. Somewhere around this area. So 103,500 is my stop loss. And I'm planning to ride it all the way up somewhere around 105,900. So a little scalp, just if you guys want to get, entertained while we look at the news. That's your entry.
I got a question for you, OC, on that chart there. If we come back up and we reject off of that red dynamic reactor or that red quantum reactor, is that bullish or bearish continuation?
Bearish continuation.
There you go. There you go.
Bearish continuation. Yes.
There you go. I just had to bring that up. All right, let's jump back over here. Let's get into the news, guys, and finish this off. More bad news rolls in. Amazon to replace 600,000 jobs with AI. The headline continues to support what Computer has been stating. Unemployment, this is from Armstrong Economics. Unemployment in the U.S. will rise in 2026. A newly leaked document reveals that Amazon plans to replace over 500,000 workers as the company increasingly turns to automation to reduce cost. They are looking at robots, and obviously not this type, but robots that will replace a large amount of their in warehouse work. 600,000 jobs to be replaced between now and 2030, by the way. It's all the way up through 2030, but 600,000 jobs gone. I feel like all Piper's questions to OC are trick questions. He's a very smart man. I feel like I got to slip him up every now and then. Okay. If I don't come at him with angles, he just never gets tripped up, and he still doesn't get tripped up when I come at him with an angle. So very smart dude. Bitcoin right now currently down 2.5% on the daily, guys. 3.4% downside on Ethereum right now. What other big movers we got? We got 4.6% downside on BNB despite having a 2.2%. You guys see these hourlies. These were way worse until this last hour. 5.5% downside for Solana. 4.3% downside on Chainlink, still sitting in that $15 range. No, that is not $800. You are correct. But look at Zcash. OC, what the hell is going on with Zcash?
Holy shit. I don't know, but I was trying to short it yesterday and it stopped me out, and then it went lower. And right now it's getting back at its zone. It's just having a ton of volatility.
Yeah, it's insane. Rounding up that top 20 is Litecoin, guys, down 2.6%. Let's look at the stock market, see how it's doing today. Refresh it, make sure we got a good look here. Here are your TradFi levels for today, guys. Dow Jones currently down about 0.2%. The S&P down about 0.5%. NASDAQ down 0.85. This was down like 1.7 this morning. It was pretty harsh downside move on that. Russell 2K down 1%. And the VIX, we got a lot of volatility. We're above 17, is sitting upside. Let's look at bonds. Where's that money going, OC? Looks like it's going into bonds. When you see this turn red, this means people are buying the 10-year treasury yield right now, guys. It's sitting back down at 4.08 right now on that. Let's look at gold. Gold is at down 1.42%, $3,957. Silver down to $47, just a little bit below that, down 2.27. Copper is down 2.35, and platinum and palladium both down over 2% each on the downside move there. Precious metals is not where that money's going. Returns right now. Let's look at this. I want to refresh this. I think this should be still about 5.3. Yeah, it is. Remember, we had a red October. The last time we had a red October gave us a 36.5% downside in November also. Plus, next week, there is the Bitcoin conference. We know that Bitcoin typically likes to sell off during that thing. And then also, we've got, Thanksgiving, and typically they want to embarrass you to go home and sit in front of your family on Thanksgiving. How's your Bitcoin doing? I saw it was way down. So I don't know. You guys take it for what it's worth, but we could see some more sell-off in the month of November. I think it is very possible. We'll see how far it goes down, and we'll talk about those levels in a bit. Looking at the stuff this week, today, nothing. We got a Fed Bowman speech this morning. Nothing really happened off of that. Tomorrow, we're going to get ISM services right now. It's talking about being just slightly higher. So this would be a bullish catalyst if this is in fact higher. ADP employment change tomorrow morning also expected to be down quite a bit. Negative 32, be up to 25, but that's still well below what it needs to be at to keep up with job pace requirements. So, what else is there? Initial jobless claims, not a whole lot, guys. Pretty quiet week ahead without all the data that we should be getting that we're not getting. So, and the government's still closed, probably not getting much. How are we looking on a rate cut? We're at a 68.9%. We'll call it 69, not 67. For all you Gen Z out there, look at 68.9% chance right now of a rate cut happening in December. 31% chance that we get a continuation of a pause. And here's this article. I'm going to bring OC up here with me on this because I think we need to talk about this, and then we'll go back and look at what else we got. Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley warn of a market correction. Things run and then they pull back. Yep, that's what happens. That's fact. Global markets may be due for a reality check after this year's relentless rally. Equities worldwide have been soaring, hitting record highs this year, driven by AI-linked gains and expectations of rate cuts. Over the past month, key U.S. indexes have scaled new peaks. Japan's Nikkei 225 and South Korea's Kospi have hit fresh highs. Matter of fact, Japan's run yesterday was insane. It is likely that there will be a 10 to 20% drawdown in equities markets sometime in the next 12 to 24 months. That's in line with what we're thinking about in 2026. I think that we still have some potential to make some more runs across the markets, but I don't know that it's going to translate to crypto per se, right? And I still think that it's going to be because of the AI push, the bubble of AI continuing to expand. Because you got to remember, half of the S&P's total valuation right now is sitting in 7 companies. So I think that as long as that AI shuffle, circle jerk, as Eric Wallen would call it, continues to happen, I do think that that's coming. But guys, if we have a 10 to 20% drawdown on the equities markets, that is bear market territory for stock market, just so you know. If we get that on the stock market, we're probably talking 20 to 40% drawdown on Bitcoin. It typically doubles. And then we're talking about probably 60 to 80% in that ballpark. We'll call it 70, rounded out there, for everyone that is, for all the altcoins. So be aware, they are starting to see these cracks, and they're showing in the surface. Matter of fact, money market madness. Let's talk about this. Since 2020, investors have poured $4.5 trillion into cash funds, such as money market funds, the most among major assets. Net inflows to these have tripled. If you guys don't know what a money market fund is, it's where they make high yield off of just setting their cash in an account, right? Over the same period, equity funds have seen about $2.7 trillion of inflows, doubling over the last 3 years. Meanwhile, bonds funds have attracted $2.1 trillion, tripling since early 2023, and gold funds have seen about $100 billion in net inflows amid a massive rally into gold prices. Safe haven assets are in high demand. Smart money is positioning. Don't get it twisted. So this is freaking boom. They have stopped. What are you talking about? Oh, I don't know what you're talking about, JR. Anyway, this is where a lot of the smart money is moving to right now, is into these things. And everyone's talking about liquidity. What liquidity are they talking about? They are talking about this. Even bar chart's putting it out. And we're going to talk about this in detail. So pay attention, class. Breaking U.S. banks. Fed just did it again. Another $24 billion injection into the U.S. banking system. Make that $125 billion over the last 5 days. They are calling this reverse repo chart liquidity injection, and that this is the liquidity that's going to drive the markets. And there's even people in crypto are talking about this. Why the crypto market isn't rallying despite the Fed's $37 billion liquidity injection. Okay. Fed injected that money. It's actually much higher than what they're even calling here. Despite the influx of capital, investor sentiment in cryptocurrency market has plunged to levels of extreme fear. Major assets are posting sharp declines, and the sector's total capitalization has slipped 6.11% this month. Okay, cool. Let's talk about this then. How about this? Let's go in here and say, what is actually happening? Reverse repos. Okay, this is going to break down what a reverse repo is. The Fed borrows cash from banks or money market funds and gives them treasuries as collateral. Remember, our treasuries are the strength behind the dollar. So they said, give us your cash and here's some treasuries that help support the government. When money goes into reverse repos, it leaves the banking system and it sits at the Fed. What are they going to do with it? Probably use it to buy more of the treasury bonds to support the dollar. That means liquidity is being drained, not added. And a lot of people get this twisted. They're like, this is big liquidity injection. No, it's not. Money goes into reverse repos is literally the opposite of liquidity injection. Why people get confused. The tweet from Bar Chart says Fed injected $24 billion into the system, but that's incorrect in this context. They're likely looking at an increase in the reverse repo balance and assuming that it's cash entering markets, but it's the Fed taking in that cash temporarily and the system loses spendable liquidity. The only time this would add liquidity is when the reverse repo balance falls, meaning the Fed returns cash to the banks and money market accounts. What the chart shown, the bar shows the amount accepted, how much cash financial institutions are parking at the Fed via that reverse repo. And then there was a spike on November 3rd, means that banks and funds sent $23.8 billion to the Fed in exchange for treasuries overnight. Not the liquidity injection. And so the reason that matters, U.S. bank reserves, and this is your proof on it, U.S. bank reserves nosedived to $2.8 trillion, crashed to a 4-year low. Analysts say a crisis could be near. This is actually a very bad thing that we're seeing going on with these repos. And so when you see these things, that these are just people that don't understand. And this bar chart, they still don't understand. This is being crypto, which they have a bias, right? Liquidity pulling out from reverse repos means that liquidity is not in the market. And according to that article, they're saying the crisis could be near, that we might actually see the banks start to crumble underneath the weight of this because they don't have the liquidity that they need to remain well capitalized. So, Link is working on it, JR said. OC, your thoughts on this? Why are so many people getting this wrong? Is it just ignorance that they don't understand how this works? Or are they trying to keep some hope inflated in this the Mag 7 run, which is really where the economy's at right now, this whole AI play? What are your thoughts on this? How are they this wrong?
So let's go first to analyze how news work, right? So remember when we have the release of the ETF, Bitcoin ETF, that we have like 3 major news sites actually getting it wrong. So I think this is kind of like a cancer in news. Like, hey, instead of researching their own, they just look at another quote unquote reputable site, right? And sometimes those reputable sites are either bought or misled or run, or that article run by a quote unquote ignorant person. Ignorance is not bad. All right. Ignorance is just lack of knowledge. We all are ignorant at some point. But the thing is, hey, you do need to get out of that ignorance, right, to actually make a good report. So I think that's first where we're lacking. I think the one in charge in that, he saw a lead and either decided to push it the Hopium way that will sell more, or push it, like the ignorance way that, hey, I just find it. I think this is it. I think I understand it. I don't back it up. And then I push it, and then somebody else watch it, the news. They not to get behind. They just repost it, quote unquote, right? So I think the simplest answer, it's usually how they go. And why are they that wrong? I just think lack of understanding, which is shallow investigation.
Yep. Yeah, and you can see here Dave Brumbelow, the Brumblebee in the house, appreciate you being here, bro. He said, this is where cascading fails happen and banks collapse. Absolutely. That is how that happened. Dave P said late 2019 repo market we were having similar problems, and then we end up having a flu. Yep, that's it. And that's why you're seeing these people talk about that in the next 12 to 24 months. I actually think it's more along the lines of the next 12 months that we start to get some breaking of the system here. And then we do really go into that bear market. But let's go talk about what we're seeing on the charts, guys, and why I'm saying that 52 week. You can see here, and I'll go ahead and hide we'll get rid of this bearishness down here for a second. We'll bring it back up in a second. But really, let's talk about top signals. Because first of all, hold on. First of all, let's talk about top signals. Everybody keeps talking about we haven't even hit any of the 30 top indicators, top signal indicators, top side indicators in the market, the pi cycle top, all this and that. We've only had 3 cycles of Bitcoin, guys. Saying that we have to do that a 4th time is the equivalent of saying I flipped a quarter 3 times, it hit tails, it has to hit a tails the 4th time. It's not true. It's not true. That's not how statistics works. It sounds great. It might make you feel better. It's a fallacy. So get that out of your head. You don't have to have anything happen again. Because those same people that will say that, well, we haven't done this thing that happens 100% of the time, it hasn't happened again, so therefore it can't be that, are the same people that if I show you something that has 100% of the time that we've had this happen has been a top indicator, and you totally negate that and throw it out the window. For example, the LMACD crossing over, or the fact that we've got stuff like this here, where we come into the golden pocket, which has historically been in our top range here, or when I tell people that there you go, there's your Bitcoin golden pocket tops, right? Or come back, or when I tell people that every single cycle we come back to the platinum pocket, and there's like, oh no, there's no way it's going at $39,000. You can't cherry pick what makes you feel better and say that that's just the way it is, right? You can't do that. That's not how that works. So it's either all or none. If it's 100% of the time that this happens, then you have to acknowledge other things that happen 100% of the time, okay? If you say that things can change, then you look at what you have and you go with that data. And what I have right now for data is that we, not just tops, but even in bull runs, we have gotten our bounces here on the 52-week simple moving average. And that's why it's a line in the sand for me. Because when we lose it, we retest it and we go into the crypto winter, okay? For right now, the only thing that matters, and I want to show you guys what happened here. Look, we came within a gnat's nutsack, okay, of hitting the 52-week SMA this morning. And we have our, what I would consider close enough to be a bounce on it this morning. The line on this right now is coming in, top side is 1027, and we came in at 1029, okay? If we do not hold this, then we are likely going to be looking at going down. So this is the level that we need to hold. And of course, if you look at this, all this entire cycle, new information comes in, and so you adjust it, right? This whole cycle, I told everybody that we were going to go up at all of these points. Why? Because we would not cross the 786 in a bull market. I have to take into account that we now have a dingleberry hanging down below the 786, and that means we could be looking at $70,000 to $75,000 here for a range, for a target if we continue downside movement. That would be shifting this entire area here. Let me go find parallel channel. There we go. And let's do this to here, down to here. Let's clean that up just a little. We would be looking at this entire line here being moved down one. So we would do something like this. We would bring this down to here, and then we would bring this down to here. There we go. A little bit more. And this would be now our playground for the rest of the cycle. If we hold down in here, $70,000 bounce, $78,000 bounce, and then up. Why do these levels matter here? Again, we'll go back to market bottoms. I think that because we have so much bullish absorption from ETFs, from everything else that's out there right now that's going on the regulatory side, this and that we very easily could not see 70% pullbacks in Bitcoin anymore. A 50% pullback would put us at 70,523. And I want to show you guys something. While yes, it would come in and be lower than this previous low on the weekly, that would be a swing fail pattern for upside movement, which would put us right in line with that $70,000 range, hitting on our 887 and then continuing to trade up our new channel that we would have here on this price action. Secondly, that would also be indicative of the typical pullback that we get on. I'm trying to get this off there. There we go. That we get on crazy dumps. Typically, historically, Bitcoin's big pullbacks, you guys know how much they are? Take a look. Take a look. Let's do this. What is that? 55%. So that's a typical pullback for Bitcoin anyways. I just wanted to break all that down for you guys and tell you that you can't say with absolution that these things have not occurred because they've occurred 3 times before and call that your analysis. That's poor math. That's poor math. That's Mississippi high school mathematics, public education math there. Let's be smarter than that and let's go, okay, well, what other things have told us these are happening now, that this is a possibility, and then let's aggregate and look at the current data and see which way it's leaning. Right now, for me, it is leaning a little more bearish than bullish, but as long as we hold that 52-week simple moving average, then we are likely looking at a possibility that we just move into the next cycle. So, like the 4-year cycle, Piper, absolutely. 4-year cycle has only worked so far because it's worked so far, and it can very easily break also. No doubt about it. So, nothing is 17 to 22 times. 17 to 22 times is what it takes to create a pattern. And if you want to look at true scientific statisticians, guys, they need like 1,000 points of data to confirm a trend. No joke. A full pattern takes a ton. So,
Isn't it fixable? Let's go to the 1 minute.
Take it to the 1 minute. Let's go. But that's what I got there, guys, on that. I just wanted to break all that down. Again, we're watching this level currently right now, about $102,000 going to be the line in the sand. I do want to point out it is possible for us to go below that. I was going to show you this earlier, and I said I would. So before I hand it over to OC, I do want to talk about this. This is the level that I'm watching down here for the absolute last line in the sand, guys. It would be $92,500. It's a CME gap from April 22nd. And of course, if we look at that on like the weekly and take a look at that level, yeah, we have this little spike here where it came up, but that would again set us up for pretty much the same thing where we go, okay, swing fail pattern off of this, and then we go higher, right? So there is a CME gap down there. Don't get it twisted. That is still sitting down there on the daily, and it could very, very easily get that picked up too. So I just wanted to share that. OC, what are you watching? Shout out to Alexo Crypto, by the way. I saw him in the chat. He said, I love these guys. We love you too, Alexo. We love you too, man. Good to see you, bro. Otter gangs, drop the otters in the chat, guys. Drop the otters in the chat. OC, what are you watching on the altcoins? Because right now, you know I'm not buying any altcoins. I ain't touching that stuff. You couldn't pay me to touch that stuff. I'm not interested in alts, but right now, they are good to trade. So what are you watching on the alt charts, bro?
Perfect. Let's first go to my current trading here. So we have failed to actually close above that trend line. We have actually closing below. Not only that, we're having a goose head, a bearish goose head. That's because this peak is looking bearish. All right. So what are we going to be doing right at this point, since we are on a range? This is happening as we speak. So let's go and check this out. So for example, look at this, and then we have that bearish goose head with a double maybe top, and then continuation downwards, which will be getting us very close to our stopped out zone. In fact, you see it almost right there, getting there. So since we has crossed our invalidation area, I'm gonna go ahead and close it at some slight loss in here. So let me just go ahead and click close. All right, and that's it. So it's close. So let's just get rid of this. I'm gonna put it as in here, and we're gonna be waiting for the next area. Important, just in case you're looking for a continuation, this is your support. I'm gonna be looking for drop below the zero line. Not only that, remember, main oscillator, let's turn on that for a second. And let's take a look at our leading indicator, which is the True 7. True 7 also did flat out in that meantime and turn around. So once again, it's following the same pattern. So we need to act accordingly. This is part of trading, guys. I mean, as we see an opportunity, we go ahead and we take it. And as we see some invalidation points, again, we go ahead and take it. Another important thing that I want to mention, if you don't want to close it, you are all right. You can let it be on its stop loss, because we're technically still above the zero line, so we still have that chance to bounce back up, right? But so far, since I'm gonna be teaching, I'd rather just get out of this little trade right in the 15 minutes. So let's get it out and let's continue. So far, I want to go over a couple of other things that look great, like for example, ICP. I was looking to get a either breakout continuation, only enter for the flip of the ribbon. So the flip of the ribbon actually happened all the way up here after this breakout. We're talking about this looking very, very nice, and then preparing for the breakout retest continuation. It blew up right here as we're crossing above, having that bearish divergence as we go strongly. So the plan is the same. At this point, we're going to be looking at this pattern of the 30 minutes. In that pattern, it is a rising wedge, and that tends to break to the downside. So far, let me bring up the rest of my indicators to see how we're doing. And of course, let's wait for them to load in my screen. Let's give it a second. And there you go. We are on a big resistance. It's a daily resistance, right? We also have a area of ranging right here, money flow, POC, and golden line all the way on the top. So I'm going to be waiting for maybe a pullback down to this area, breakout, retest, and then continuation by creating a lower high. So far, this is going to be the plan. We can still be ranging in here, and if we range and break this out, this could create a flat pause of bullish continuation. So far, so good. I'm still looking for a clean and clear entry. In this case, as we break out, we did not have the retest. So for me, there was no entry right down below here. Another thing that I'm looking at, or I was looking at, it is SEC. So look at this, man. I was aiming to get into a short yesterday night. I did enter into a short in here, went down in here, went back up, stopped me out. Well, then actually played out with that beautiful movement to the downside, right? Something important to note, we did had a lot of things in here and tiny candles and a reversal signal right in there, right as we were moving downwards. Important, that was already too late for me. That was at 5 a.m. Haven't even been waking up. So this for me was not, I was not able to take the next short. So despite we had the correct direction, our stop loss was slightly smaller. But still, that analysis, I think, played out nicely, but that led it to a stop loss. Another thing that I'm looking at, it's SUI. So let me bring up this support and resistance, and I'm looking for a possible reversal right down here. Let's see if we can get it on the 30 minutes. Let's wait for this indicator to play it out or to show it up. And we don't have it. So we're breaking above that zero line, which means that this could be a Wyckoff reversal. So you also notice that I have a alert on this trend line, and that is in case we start breaking through. We're getting this one closer. So I'm going to be looking for a breakout, retest, continuation, TP number 1. And if I bring up my support and resistances, we'll take a look at TP number 2 and TP number 3. Throughout the day, there you go, TP number 2. And finally, TP, where is it? TP number 3. Well, we need to look for something up in here like this range. All right, so TP number 3 might be somewhere around this areas. Important, I'm gonna keep looking at Bitcoin, because if Bitcoin goes to the downside, it doesn't matter that we have a loud order block as support. we're also gonna be reversing on altcoins. So if you're looking to hold some altcoins, I would say that this is not the time. In fact, we are supposed to be looking for continuation downwards. So what I'm looking for, just as a little quote unquote secret, it is some coins that haven't been that bearish as I was looking for example, ZEC, because they have the most chances to actually reverse and create that movement to the downside. So in this case, if this would have worked, we would have gained somewhere around 195% of that trade, because I'm doing 10x once again, going for those shorts. I still think, as Piper mentioned, that we might still have some more movement to the downside, as we're seeing right now on Bitcoin, and maybe hitting, the 100K zone. Just to make sure that I have an alert in here, let's add it on this chart. I have it in other charts, but there you go. That's my alert for you. So far, just holding steady. Yep, and looking to see how Bitcoin evolves.
Awesome. So Robert Mulligan said Piper plays a lot of lines in the sand. It's almost like a piano. Let me explain to you how I look at a chart. You guys can look over here. This is pretty interesting. You can look here. I put the CME on here, okay? We got line in the sand, right? 52 week. First line in the sand here was our daily quantum reactor, our daily dynamic reactor in the bull market support band, right? So we got all of these lines in the sand, right? CME, the 50% fib. When I look at a chart, this is how you guys look at charts, right? OCs, this is how you look at a chart. These are your support ranges, right? When I look at this chart, this is what I see. Do you guys know what this is? This is battlefield planning, exactly. And this is what I did for decades in the Army, okay? You guys see these phase lines? Phase line Joe, phase line Bill, phase line Mary, phase line Dorina. You got your skirmish area back here, fixing positions. You got your tank units, right? Moving. I look at this as my lines in the sand. These are my support levels below us as we move forward, right? And so when I look at a chart, this is what I see in this image, right? So when I say lines in the sand, these are, if you guys don't know this, you do this on a sand table, right? And then, as you look forward, you go, okay, the next line in the mission is going to be phase line Bill, phase line Joe is closed out. And we are now moving on to the next one, right? So these are my resistance or my support levels as we move forward. Just like if we were going up and I did a trend-based fib extension, I'm looking at next levels of fibs on the extension of price discovery or wherever we're at. And those would be my phase lines moving forward in the upward position. So I approach TA like I do a battlefield, guys. And so sadly, yes, you can have a lot of lines in the sand, but each one is a phase line on a bigger battlefield, right? So now you guys understand how Piper's brain works. Yeah, exactly. Red 1, red 2, red 3, go attack, target 1. Yes, that is a fact. 3 levels. There are levels to this shit, JR said. That's the weirdest defense strategy game I've ever seen. That is called war, LBC. That is called war. By the way, OC, if you don't know, I got this picture sent to me this morning. This is from Alexandra G. Okay. Alexandra G has bought this bottle of champagne. And when we get FU rich next cycle, this is what we're going to break out. Check it out. Alexander G bought this. It is Piper champagne. Let's go.
Let's get it. Wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah, Piper champagne. Piper champagne is going to be cracked open. Well, we're all going to get together and everyone gets a sip of Piper champagne. Strategy of landmines. Interesting inside the mind of Harvey Piper. My brain does not work like other analysts. Let me tell you, I promise you it does not. I don't just look at TA and go, oh yeah, here's my level. That's it. That's the end of it. No, it's multi-phase. It is a multi-phase battle to get rich. So I'm on my way to $1 million. I've got all the zeros. I just need to get to find the one.
On the right place, please.
In the right place, please. Yes, exactly. All right, I see. We got about 5 more minutes. I just wanted to pop through this stuff like a bottle of champagne, Alexander G. I just wanted to pop through this stuff and explain that to Robert Mulligan because I talk about lines in the sand, but when I talk about lines in the sand, I'm really talking about phase lines on an entire battlefield against the market maker. And so far, I'm winning this cycle. So, OC, what do you got for us, bro?
Absolutely. So looking at a couple of things that have been moving, we have ICP. Of course, we also already talked about it, right? And how it's now retracing. So we just need to wait a little bit on this pattern to get a breakout. Important that we just had right now in the 30 minutes, it is, well, almost a lower high. Why am I expecting to have a lower high? Because I already have a reversal. Usually on that reversals, we see that goose head or that flip of the ribbon to play it out. And I'm seeing a little bit of that money flow coming back around. Important, we're still above the zero line, and it's impressive how ICP is still very, very bullish. Let me just right click in here and lock this line in place. So we have it for the night show and clear this up. Perfect. So I think that looks much better. So other stuff in here look that they are moving. Dash, well, Dash, I do remember that when Dash came out, I was a very a good fan of Dash. So let's take a look at Dash in here for the old times, and we
Another
got
one
it.
of those crazy dinosaur coins, man.
Yeah, man, and look at that. It's actually pumping. It's pumping. So I do recall that when we talked about, hey, the icon season, how is it going to be playing out? And one of the theories was, you know what, on uncertainty, all dinosaurs that are holding are going to get back to their coins, right? And start buying icons that they were on their when they were popular, right? I think that's what's happening. But also, I believe that we're almost crumbling down in here. So let me just reload my indicators because they seems that TradingView doesn't want to play with me. Here we go. Let's click OK. And of course, let's bring this up. So we have lack of strength on the bearishness. We just need to go over, have our reversal diamond, and we could be looking for maybe a pretty ugly bullish flag all the way here, and then possibly a long position from here. We need to be careful in this case because despite Bitcoin is being kind of like going slowly, quote unquote, slowly going downwards, if it has a big dump, well, this is not going to hold and we're going to be going lower. Still, I'm going to be looking for some pump in Dash, but we'll see how that goes. In fact, I'm going to be adding right now my alert and then coming back around when that hits that support area. And so far, that's it. I'm not trading much of altcoins. That's I know it tends to be a little boring, but I rather wait for the 100K mark and then after that see where is the pump going and then lead my efforts to whatever the direction is going to be. I mean, if this is a bear market, guys, well, we're just getting started and we have a long way to go, right? And this is the final maybe push upwards. We still need to find for that support. As I explained before, I believe that we're in that transition zone where we need to find our ground base. Let's get it.
We're doomed. It's what it says on the inside of my coffee cup. When I take a drink from it, I can read that in there. It says we're doomed.
Bitcoin is going to zero.
You heard it here first. Bitcoin is going to zero.
Shout out to Dusty Hunt. He said most likely, least likely, best case, worst case. He's talking about COAs, course of action development. So yes, that is exactly it. You're right, Dusty Hunt. That is it. COA. That's when I look at TA, I develop it like a COA. This is our best case, our worst case, our most likely, our least likely. Most dangerous course of action would be that we return back to the 786 $40,000 Bitcoin. Of course, that would also be the most advantageous for the Piper plan because we'll be scooping up at the bottom with the MVP oscillator, guys. We're about to head out of here. OC's got a class over at Chart Prime right now. So OC, I appreciate you being here today, bro. And make sure you guys tune in and watch him at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight. OC, you got anything for the people on your way out?
Yeah, I'm gonna be moving the time for 7 p.m. Just 1 hour earlier to compensate because it pushes my time too far into the future. And
Okay.
yeah, it's
So
starting to
7
match
p.m.
with
Eastern Standard Time, and I need to update the banner on YouTube and update the yeah. I'll get with you so you can update everything in Discord.
absolutely
7 p.m. Eastern
I'll do
Standard
it right
Time,
away.
guys. Thanks, RC. Go get your class, bro. All right, guys, that's it. That's all we got time for today. We're about to head over to Crypto Princess this morning. She's doing a part 2 today, so we're going to go check her out and get you guys over there. But I hope you guys had a good show today. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please smash the like button, share it with a friend. We are working to grow here, and we appreciate you guys, the alumni. We appreciate Alex O and the OGs and everyone that makes this the great community that it is. We will catch you guys back here tomorrow morning. Hopefully BC Port goes live. We'll see for Good Morning Crypto. But either way, we'll be here at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, bringing you guys the news, the charts, the markets, the headlines, and everything you need to have knowledge, because knowledge is profit. Until next time, guys, trade safe, use some risk management, and as always, peace, love, profits. Be kind to yourself, be kind to others. Later.
That's the rap. Chart stack data never lie. Piper led the mission, OC in the sky. Spaghetti on the screen, but the vision stay prime. Chart prime visual, signals on time. Alumni strong, we built from the grind. Lessons in the market that'll outlive time. Knowledge is profit, you know how we run. Till the next one, stay sharp, get it done.
You can't handle the truth. Emotional damage.
We'll see you at the next
They don't
one.
know what the fuck they're doing.
Morning market report out. 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 Out.
Boom shakalaka.
We'll see you at the next one. Morning market report. We'll see you at the next one. Morning market report. Ow.
That was awesome, dude.
Hey, it didn't break. What else you got?